What is up, guys? Welcome back to Fightful Overbooked here today. It's me, Corey Brennan, here with another interview here with Maya World here today. A very talented young woman who is making a name for herself in Texas right now. She's been on Ring of Honor. She's wrestled Athena. She's wrestled Mayu Iwatani and so on. And how are you doing today, Maya?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good, and it's a pleasure to have you on Fightful Overbooked today. And so we'll start at the beginning. Uh, Obviously, it is still fresh in your mind, I imagine, being so young into your wrestling career. But what slash who inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
Definitely 2015, Sasha Banks. That was my girl. I was the biggest fan of her. Just her like style, her swagger, her wrestling. She was an amazing wrestler. Definitely that era is what inspired me to watch, inspired me to start wrestling. Even though I watched it before that, but whenever I saw them in the Four Horsewomen coming up, I was like, yeah, I want to do this.
And like I said, you are only a year into your career, and like passing that year milestone for you, is there anything that has kind of not come as a shock, but kind of took you by surprise throughout your development so far?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm kind of just what took me by surprise is when I got to wrestle Mayu Iwatani. Honestly, nothing about my like development did because I just wasn't expecting that match. Honestly, ever I never ever thought I'd get the chance to wrestle Mayu Iwatani. That was one thing that took me by surprise. Just like my hard work paying off. I did that tryout and I got it and I got to wrestle her. So that was a really cool experience.
And more on Mayu, she has won so many championships at this stage in her career, and obviously, like you said, it was just such a great experience. Is there anything that stood out as something that you learned from Mayu?
Yeah, just I mean, Maya was just more herself than anyone I've ever wrestled. Like anything she does, they're gonna love, just because she's just so charismatic. Just be yourself, go out there and do your thing, no matter who you're in the ring against, basically.
Yeah, and we'll stick with some of your big opponents that you've had. You have wrestled Athena in a proving ground match on Ring of Honor television, and you are actually going to wrestle her again very soon, if I'm not mistaken. And just what that experience was like, working Ring of Honor, working against someone of Athena's caliber, and in a proving ground match, and then your level of excitement heading into another match with her.
Yeah, working that match with Athena was probably one of the matches that everybody after that match, everybody eyes were on me type thing. I was just so excited that I got to get that opportunity, especially with her because she is one of the people who like have mentored me. She is one of my trainers. And I went out there and I showed exactly what I can do against one of the best in the world. So that was really exciting for me. Thankfully, it was in Dallas, so the nerves they were there until I walked out. But a lot of people knew who I was since we're in my home city, so it was good. Um, but yeah, June 15th, the Epic in Grand Prairie, Texas, Metroplex Wrestling. I finally get that rematch. Oh, I feel like not that I took it lightly the first match, but that I had just so much respect for who I was across the ring from that I wasn't on my A game as much as I should have been. So I'm excited for this rematch because now like the respect is out the window. Like she blindsided me after our match last time. So now it's just me and I'm just ready to face one of the best in the world and prove that one day I can be that.
And when talking about Athena, you kind of have to talk about her protege, Billy Starks, Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion. You two were kind of part of the newest generation, like you said, who were inspired by the Four Horsewomen, by the talent of the last decade. And is a match with Billy something that's in on your to-do list or opponent list? And have you had any interactions with her recently?
Yes, actually, Billy's a really good friend of mine. Um, Last time I seen her was Philly Mania though, so it's been a minute since I've seen her. Well, probably about 2 months. But I mean, definitely. There's this promoter in Austin who any match I want, he wants to get for me. Not that he gets for me, he wants to try his hardest. That's how I got the Mayu Yamashita match. Or Miyu Yamashita, sorry. And so she's on the top of my list, and I'm praying, I'm like begging for her. I'm like, please give me Billy Starks, please give me Billy Starks. So that's definitely one of my dream opponents. She's probably at the top for right now, who I haven't faced yet.
And another veteran that you have faced off with in Ring of Honor is Queen Aminata, and that was another big match for you to have. And obviously, with those three matches, Athena, Queen Aminata, Mayu. First, with Queen Aminata, what did you learn there? What did you learn in that experience? Because obviously they are three different, very different wrestlers. So just what you learned from Queen Aminata and kind of compare the three, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be more. Yeah,
Queen Aminata is probably the most hard hitting person I've been in the ring with. Like everything was so like snug, and but that's exactly how I like it. I mean, hit me because I'm gonna hit you just as hard. That's basically what I got from her. Hit whoever you hit, they're gonna hit you just as hard, you know. So be ready for that. Um, she's another one who backstage was a really big help, even with that match. The difference between the three is they're honestly they're all hard hitting. Um, Mayu Mayu was kind of more like a language barrier, so I just learned how to work with someone who kind of is not in the same language barrier with
yeah,
there. Um, who else? Athena and Aminata, is that the three you
yeah,
said?
yeah.
See, since Athena is my trainer, like I kind of knew what I was gonna get with her. I mean, I watched everything she does, so I kind of knew what I was gonna get with her. She's already taught me so much, not even in that match, just from the training. Um, but she's also one of those hit me hard, I'm gonna hit you just as hard. Um, I learned patience. I learned, um, you know, character development with her. It's just a lot of things, but they are three completely different wrestlers.
And you did mention there, Athena has played a big role in your training, but someone else who has played a big role in your training is Thunder Rosa and Mission Pro in general. And what has that experience been like, working, learning to wrestle with Mission Pro and also working with Thunder Rosa?
Thunder Rosa is such an amazing mentor. Also, she speaks a lot of confidence and real life like wrestling experience into the girls. So I'm so grateful for her. But wrestling at Mission Pro, I mean, I feel like since I started there, my first match was last either June or August. I don't know why I can't remember right now. But since then, I swear, I feel like I've improved every time because like I know it's a bigger stage. They have like this TV type setup. Like we get there really early, we do all the makeup, and then we get promos and all that. So it taught me like working TV. And like I said, I feel like every match I've been there is when I started like improving and when I started like getting better. Probably because I knew a lot of eyes were going to start being on me just from wrestling there. So thankfully, it gave me that experience, and then wrestling there has gotten me onto other bigger shows. So yeah, that's been amazing, and Thunder has been so great.
And you have had championship victories so far in your career already. I mean, at such a young age, like, and is there any titles this year that you want to add to that collection? Is there any that you want to challenge for in particular? Obviously, other than the ones you already booked to the challenge for.
Yes, for sure. So um, I'm going to be at West Coast Pro this Saturday. I definitely want to challenge for that title one of these days. Um, Metroplex Wrestling, which is where I'm wrestling Athena at. Their champion is Hilda. She's a local Texas wrestler. I definitely want to wrestle for that, win that. Honestly, next Sunday or Sunday after May 26th, I'm wrestling for the Dog Pound Championship Wrestling, and that's Jazz's School's championship. So definitely that one. I have a few that I actually want to add to the collection. I think it's like this year is the year I want to become the belt collector. Last year was like, just getting my foot in the door. So this year I'm coming for every belt that I can.
Completely fair, in my opinion. Another promotion that you have been in quite a couple of times now is Reality of Wrestling, and that's one that I do want to ask you about, if that's okay, and just your experience with Reality of Wrestling and what it was like to work there. Yeah, like I said, you did work a couple of times there.
Yeah, for sure. That's another championship I definitely want to win. I forgot. I didn't forget, but Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, no, working there has been amazing. Also, I've had great experiences there. Like the women's locker room. has been amazing. It's like Promise Braxton, Mia Friday, Gigi Ray, Miranda Alizé, like women like that. They're amazing. No cattiness, we don't gotta go in there and worry about that. It's so professional, especially with Charmel leading the women, leading the charge. And Booker is amazing. He's given me some great advice also. I was very excited the first time I was there. He loved my match and he was like, "We got to bring you back every time." So I'm grateful that I've been at every show since, honestly. And yeah, that's another place that's like TV production, and that's more so TV production because like now they're working with NXT, bringing NXT wrestlers in, and just yeah. So and knowing that those like eyes like could be NXT officials on me, so that's another place I've been conditioned to go out and make sure I do my best every single time, and that's another place that's helped me improve.
And you did just mention there NXT and someone who is in NXT now, Ren Sinclair. So,
Mhm.
and seeing someone like Ren get signed by WWE and being on NXT TV like that just so quickly, does that inspire you a lot as well? Just to see someone like Ren just succeed like that?
Oh, for sure. And I was so sad. I wasn't sad she got signed, but I had seen her when I first started, and I wanted to face her so bad. And I feel like we were so close, and then she got signed, and I was like, dang. But I mean, since NXT letting them wrestle at Raw, I feel like they should just bring her into Raw. We can get our match there. Anyway, but yeah, for sure. And the last show she was at was like a Mission Pro show. She had to relinquish her tag team titles there, and I seen her there, and they gave her like a really sweet goodbye. And it was just cool to see. Like she's one of those who like I definitely didn't see her on the indies longer than what she was. So I'm happy she got signed. But I definitely saw it coming. She's such a great talent.
And for you, is NXT something that is a target for you? Is that like a goal in the near enough future? Like because you have been wrestling just over a year, which is a short time for it, but you have excelled and improved at a very steady rate, even from researching you and just watching you work and everything like that. Like you can see is that a realistic thing for you? Do you see yourself kind of being in that contention to be signed by NXT in the near future?
I honestly believe so. I feel like I have had people who are like, "Oh, you're gonna get signed. You're gonna get signed," and I feel like I've been like, "No, like it's gonna take a minute." Well, it is gonna take a minute, but I feel like I've been trying to be really cordial about it. But I do want that's really one of my goals of mine. I do manifest it. NXT, honestly, it could be Ring or AEW, like, but NXT is definitely like honestly probably everybody's goal or WWE in general. So I mean, definitely believe that could be in the future.
And I'm sorry, I'm just rattling through the different promotions you've worked, but you've worked so many different ones that it's like I just want to kind of get your opinion on them. And so you did work GCW as well, and that again, that's another different kind of environment
Mhm.
to say reality wrestling, say to Ring of Honor even. And what did you learn working there and working with the women who worked there? Because obviously lot of death matches happen in GCW, so it's a much different environment to what you're used to, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. It definitely is. But also working there, and I was around Philly Mania weekend, you saw all the top stars. So, I mean, it's definitely a place I want to be on steadily because it'll just show me that, like, you're kind of at the top, you're where you want to be. But that's definitely different in terms of everybody goes out there. And I feel like whenever I call it a good match, I call it hooping. Everybody hoops. Like, every match, they're like, you got to go out there
Yeah.
and you got to go out there and do your thing every time. So that's definitely another thing that, or another show I was on that pushed me to like, yeah, if you want to be on this level, you just gotta give your best effort every show or every match you have. But yeah, I mean, I've wanted to get into death matches, so I was like, if they want to book me in a little death match, especially with Billy because she wrestles there a lot,
Yeah,
that definitely would be, cool.
that'd be a very violent match, I imagine. Um, and just we're talking a little bit there about we have mentioned AEW a few times, so I do want to get your opinion on something. Obviously Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Monet. You mentioned Mercedes earlier as being one of your main inspirations. Obviously, it's very inspiring to see two powerful black women
Mhm.
contend for a top championship in a top American promotion. But to what extent does that inspire you? Those two in particular?
Just Mercedes, the fact that she is definitely the reason that I'm a wrestler, and also Willow, who's like fought and clawed for everything, fought and clawed for everything that she has been given. Which I feel like she's more me in that scenario versus Mercedes, who's like more like the celebrity type thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but it's definitely cool to see two black women, and it's not even just in AEW. Obviously, it's in WWE too,
Yeah.
and freaking Impact. But just seeing those two and Willow, who deserves this so much, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully, they main event because they definitely deserve that. But yeah, that's really cool to see though. They had a great segment yesterday on AEW that I watched live at the Dallas Wings game because I was just so excited to see that. But yeah.
And another person that you have locked up with, and it's another person who's very young, very promising talent, Izzy Moreno. Everyone knows who Izzy is in the wrestling community, but both of you are at kind of that point in your career where you're still learning, but you're both starting to work more and more and more.
Mhm.
What was that like to work with Izzy and like to work with someone who was very much on your level at that point?
Yeah, it was cool to see in terms of we're both new. The Mission crowd loved me, but whenever I'm in the ring with her, they were like, not dealing with you. They love Izzy so much, and I see why. Like she's young, but she's done not everything, but she's done a lot, and she's always been in the public eye. So it's cool to see that person you've seen grow up, become a wrestler. But she's doing so good out there. She also gives advice to like people other young wrestlers about like promoing and how to get your name out there and how to sell those tickets just because she's been in it so long, so she knows what she's doing. So it's really cool to see her as a wrestler. Like that's one of the other things that I was there. I watched 2015 the Iron Woman match. I seen little Izzy crying, like so that was never like full circle moment for me. It was cool to meet her and her parents. But yeah, I'm excited for her and what she's gonna do in the future.
And I mentioned so many promotions, but is there any promotions that you, in particular, that you want to do while you're still on the independent scene? Obviously, you're still young in your career, but
Yeah.
it could be any day that you could get called to one of the companies, like you said. Just is there any independent companies in particular that you do want to work with during that time?
Definitely. Like I definitely want to work the big ones like Defy, Prestige, who else? I can't even think right now. Limitless, uh Chicago, CSW in Chicago, like just those ones like that. And
Yeah.
you see the top stars working them. Um so those are a few. There's definitely way more that I just can't think of right now, but those are the top ones I can think of.
And then just to carry that on, dream opponents on the scene right now, on the independent scene right now, is there obviously you've said Billy and so on, but is there anyone else? Is there anyone that stands out to you as someone that I could really have a good match with that person?
Yes, honestly, I wouldn't even claim, or I don't even know if I would say she's on the independent team, but Stephanie Bakir is someone who I've also, that promoter I told you about. She's also one of the ones I'm like begging for him to bring her in. I was like, I don't even know if she works indies a lot, but I just seen her post the indie she's working today. So I was like, let's get her. Definitely Stephanie Bakir. I definitely want to work Azumi. She's a, starting girl, but still like, she works some indies. Azumi, like, Lady Frost. I have a whole list that I just,
Yeah.
Willow, Sky Blue. Did I already say Billy? Billy. I haven't worked Vert Vixen one on one, even though we're in a whole stable together. I still haven't worked her one on one, so I want to work her. Hyon, Rachel Rose, Texas Girlies, love them. Who else? Delilah Doom. I can't think. Both the Renegades and Aviva Van. Oh my gosh, Masha Slamovich, um, all art hitters. Um, yeah, that's all I can think of right now. I'm pretty sure those are all in my top 10 that I sent that promoter. So definitely those.
And like you said, you're a Texas girl. Yeah, have come up in the Texas independent scene.
Mhm.
What to you makes the Texas scene stand out compared to everywhere else? Because like you've said, you have wrestled all over the states at this point as well. So what makes the Texas scene stand out to you?
I feel like the Texas scene, I feel like in a way we're competitive, but we also like all want to see each other like get to outside of the state wrestling all over Texas. Like girls like Danny B, Berg Vixen, like I said, Hyon, Rachel, Charity King, Rashi Chanel. Like those are people who seen when I first started, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first started, I didn't know the indies were a thing. This is so bad. I knew of like people, but I didn't realize how big the indies actually were. So my like a few years after, or a few months after I started wrestling was Texas Mania, and all the indies came, or Dallas when WrestleMania was in Dallas. All the indies came, and that's my first time like seeing like people outside of like Texas wrestling scene. So whenever I'm seeing like those women working, I'm like, oh my God, these women are so good. Like these are some of the best wrestlers I've seen. And I want them to get out there more because a lot of people, when they see them, they're gonna love them. Thankfully, like Danny B's on NWA now, so they're seeing her more. But yeah, like, those are the women like I first seen, and I was like, these women are amazing. These women need to be everywhere, all over the world. So just those women like pushed me to be like, I want to be on their levels. But yeah, the Texas scene, it's so great, and I feel like the more people see it, the more they'll see that they're some of the best wrestlers in the world.
And as we start winding down, I do want to ask you because I meant to ask earlier, but just completely skipped my mind when we were talking about it. Obviously, this year you did work your first WrestleMania week on the independent scene. What was that like? Was that a hectic environment for you? Did you go to WrestleMania while you were in Philly, or were you?
I wanted to so bad. The second day, I was trying all morning. I was trying to get those tickets, but there was no good ones. But unless they were behind the stage, I was like, I'm not doing that. So I just went in the comfort of my home or the comfort of my friend's Airbnb, and we all watched it together. So that was fun too. But yeah, I wasn't expecting the first Mania weekend to be um as grand as it was. But like going to the collective, I was at the collective like every day. It was so many people all the time, even like the WWE superstars are there. And then I went in with like two bookings and I walked out with four. And I just know when I came back, everybody was like, girl, you were all over. Like I seen your name everywhere. That was like, so that was good for me. Like a lot of eyes were on me after Philly Mania weekend. So that's kind of what I wanted though. Like I was like, you got to go in there. You gotta have a good match everywhere. It doesn't matter. No slacking, no times off. You gotta, give it your all. So that was exciting. And then, like I said, wrestling Mayu Watani, which I still like. I watched that back. I'm like, there's no way I wrestled her. Like, it's still so surreal because I never, ever expected that. Like, I don't even put her on my dream match opponent list because I don't expect it to ever happen, and it did. So that was just a cool experience for me. Like, I'll never forget that first Mania weekend.
I can imagine. And another promotion that you have recently worked and started working is with Wrestling Open. You had your Wrestling Open debut at the start of this month, and the White Eagle obviously is one of the more I don't know if I'd say iconic venues on the independent scene, but it's definitely one of the most well known. So you got to work there. How was it staffed for you?
I was definitely geeking when I first walked in. I was so excited. I was like, this is so cool. Taking all the pictures. But it was one of those places that I also was like I was pining to get on. I was, hitting them up like what's up? Like what we doing? We finally got a date settled. So I was so excited to work there. It definitely is an iconic venue. That's another place. Got me so many bookings just from working there. So it's just another place that I feel like I wanted to be on leveling up to the bigger promotions.
And one final question for you before we do sign off. Um, you did mention earlier death matches are on your radar, something that you want to start doing. Is there any other match stipulations that you want to do that's out there? Like you've got the likes of Sky Blue, who's constantly talking about how she wants to do all these hardcore matches and so on. So I'm just curious, is there anything else that stands out other than death matches in your future?
I definitely do want to do death match, or at least one death match. I wanted to do a ladders match, but we just did that at Road last weekend, and it was everything I expected it to be. It was so fun. So I can mark that off the list now. I definitely want to do like tables match, like I quit matches, like all the death matches. Just give me at least three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to do some.
Maya, you've been absolutely wonderful to chat with today. Do you want to tell people where they can find you and where you're going to be wrestling coming up soon?
Yes. So my Instagram is at It's Maya World with two D's at the end. Twitter is the same at It's Maya World, and then my Facebook is just Maya World. And then I'm gonna be here coming up Saturday. I'll be at West Coast Pro facing Zara Zacher, who's a good friend of mine. I think that match will be great. The first match we had was so good, so I'm expecting us to top that, and I'm expecting to come out with the win this time. And also I'll be wrestling Athena June 15th at the Epic in Grand Prairie, Texas. So definitely, if you can, come out for that. Like I said, I'm facing Natalia Markova for the Dog Pound Championship Wrestling. That's May 26th. And then, yeah, everything else they're going to be announced soon. So just stay tuned on my Instagram and stuff.
Make sure to go follow Maya, guys. She absolutely is killing it right now on the Texas and the full independent scene. If you're new to Fightful Overbooked, guys, make sure to subscribe. And if you like the fact that we were talking about that matches today, you're going to like another interview that I've coming up with Tara Zepp. And yeah, guys, see you guys in the next one.
Bye.